Hi everyone, my name is Alan York alongside Butch Jefferson, newly minted Associate AD for Student Athlete Engagement and Development. Butch, a lot to unpack here. Welcome to Liberty.
Thank
We
you.
tape this on a Monday, it's your first official day on campus. How have things gone?
It's been a fantastic day. Been a pleasure to meet all of the new faces that I've met today, so going really well.
A lot to unpack, as I mentioned. You're a former Virginia Cavalier, played football up in Charlottesville, and from there, looking at your resume, you've done a little bit of everything to get where you are today, including real estate. You've worked for Frito-Lay and Pepsi, just to name a few. So the last 18, 19 years to get you where you are today, unpack that for us. What have you enjoyed about your career? And then we'll kind of dive into some Liberty stuff.
Sure. Well, you hit it right on the head. I have a diversity of different experiences. Some good, some were not so good, but if everything hadn't happened exactly how it did, when it did, I would not be sitting here today with this opportunity that I have here with Liberty University.
You are today here at Liberty, and we were talking a little bit off air about how you came here, and give us kind of a Cliff Notes version of the role you're going to be in, what you're going to be doing, and kind of how you ended up here in Lynchburg.
Yeah, absolutely. So how I got here to where we are now with Liberty is such a neat story, and God did it all. It initially started with a conversation, a phone call that I received from Christy Bites, who's here, who's the Senior Associate of Athletics Director of Academics.
Yep.
And she wanted to know if I'd be open to a conversation just to talk about some ideas she had about me coming back into, collegiate athletics. And so I shared with her, because I'm still an active real estate agent and really enjoy that to the fullest, something I'm very passionate about, as well as my current involvement in the community and business associations and all that. I said, I would love to have a conversation, but just want to make sure you understand that that's still a passion of mine, and I would hope I'd still be able to do that, even if it's in a part-time role, if it found to be a fit with what you want me to do at Liberty. So I come in, we have some conversations. I go through a formal interview process, and just going through that process and how it evolved, what we've been able to do is form a alliance of sorts where what I'm already or had been doing in the community through real estate with the networking groups, with the business associations, with the current volunteer that I'm already doing with the civic organizations, we're able to utilize those relationships and those organizations to create not only opportunities for our student athletes to currently volunteer, but also to help prepare them for life after athletics, whether it be job shadowing, internship opportunities, externship opportunities, just to create those business relationships in the community that also is a fantastic representation for Liberty Athletics and Liberty University as a whole.
Butch, you're a Lynchburg native, grew up in Forest nearby, went to Jefferson Forest High School. How much did you pay attention to Liberty, say 25 years ago when you were a high school athlete? And obviously you went to Virginia, and how this place has just blossomed the last 10 years,
absolutely.
Despite maybe not being in Lynchburg, doing some stuff after college, but how much did you pay attention to the campus and what's going on here?
Yeah, I have paid attention. I didn't pay attention enough. So yes, I did grow up in the area, grew up in Forest, 1998 graduate of Jefferson Forest High School, and I was recruited by Coach Sam, Sam Retigliano, great man, but where Liberty University and Liberty Athletics was, and having the opportunity to go and play Division I football, that was the route I chose to go. But watching Liberty grow over the last 20 to 25 years, being a Lynchburg area native, is nothing short of miraculous. People can say what they want to about Liberty University, but the thing that you cannot deny is that the hand of God is on this university. The growth that's taken place, the facilities, the education, the athletics, the support, the staff, the employment is phenomenal. From a real estate perspective, you're always looking at employment rates and who the number one employer is in your area. Well, Liberty University is now the number one employer in our area, which is phenomenal. And that just goes back to the vision that Dr. Falwell had and how it has grown and really come to fruition to where it is today.
Butch, community service with our student athletes, getting out in the community, has always been one of the key driving forces of what we want them to do away from academics and their walk with Christ and athletics. What kind of stamp do you want to put on the external approach our student athletes do off of campus in this community?
Absolutely. Well, I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve our student athletes. I'm here to serve our athletic department. And talking about community service and community outreach is something that I've always been very passionate about my entire life. At UVA, I was a member of the SAC Council, which I'm responsible for here at Liberty University, the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. I was also the SAC representative for UVA with the Atlantic Coast Conference when I was there, which is really cool. So what I'm able to bring to the table is not only something that I'm passionate about, it's something that I've lived. And so being able to relate to the student athletes, to know what type of community service events and opportunities that they would want to participate in, as well as offering a variety of volunteer opportunities so that they can pick and choose what fits them the best or that sport the best, man, that's a win-win for everybody.
But you want to dive into, as we get to know you a little bit better, about diversity. You could call it training or bringing just different people together. And you and I talked off camera about how the world is challenging today, and so many things are trying to break people and departments apart. But you kind of spin it into a positive and say, we've got a lot more positive things going on that we need to bring all groups together. And I think your take on that is interesting as our fans watch this interview.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, definitely in today's culture and society, you hear a lot of there are these new positions being created, chief diversity officers, a lot of diversity training, diversity and inclusion training. And my take on that is, to your point, in the word, in the scripture, it says, our people perish for lack of knowledge. What people don't know and don't understand is what's hurting us. And right now, we have an enemy, we have an adversary, and he's here to divide us. He's trying to create division as well as discouragement. And when you focus on the negative, or you focus on what's dividing us instead of the more that brings us together that we have in common, you have the scenario that we have right now. So what my goal is to bring in a different idea and a different perspective. Focus on what we are strong at. We are here to build champions for Christ. And if we focus on the great commandment, love our God with all your heart, mind, body, soul, spirit, and love your neighbor as yourself. And a lot of people ask, who is my neighbor? Your neighbor is whoever you come in contact with, male, female. It doesn't matter what ethnicity, what sexual preference, or any of that. I am to love my neighbor as like Christ, with the love of Christ. And so if we focus on doing that, I think we'll find ourselves in a much better and positive situation.
Final thought here, Butch, as we get closer to what we hope is going to be a successful fall campaign, including football. What do you miss about football Saturdays playing at Virginia?
Oh, man. Honestly, you miss the locker room. You miss the camaraderie with your teammates. You definitely miss the fans and running out of the tunnel onto the field and the competition. But it's just, again, it's bringing people together for a common cause and a common goal, and everybody having fun and cheering and celebrating. And, we were just talking a second ago about diversity. Much of football and the locker room is a smorgasbord of personalities, of socioeconomic backgrounds, but everybody comes together for a common goal to go out and win and be successful. And that's what we're trying to do.
Butch, appreciate your time. Welcome to Liberty. I know we're going to have a fun time working with you and what you have planned for this new role you have here at Liberty.
Indeed. Thank you, man.
That's Butch Jefferson, newest member to the Liberty Athletics family, the Associate AD for Student Athlete Engagement and Development.